Hi everyone, I'm Erin Dugan from Fox 56 Sports and welcome to State Playoff High School Football on MyTV WQMY. Tonight it's the opening round of the PIAA Class 2A playoffs as York Catholic, the District 3 champs, take on Dunmore, the winners out of District 2. The Fighting Irish were playing in their fourth straight District 3 championship game last week and they finally got the win, beating Newport 51-21. The Bucks won their third title in a row by beating Lakeland last Friday. Dunmore also won 3 titles in a row from 2010 to 2013. With their district title, the Bucks are now 9-1 in their playoff games within District 2. Time now to get you out to our rivalry of the week.
You're watching the rivalry of the week on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wendy's.
The road to Hershey starts tonight for the Dunmore Bucks. In their way, the District 3 champion, York Catholic. Welcome everyone to Harmon Guy Stadium in Hazleton for the first round of the PIAA State Playoffs. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Erin Dugan will join us shortly on the sidelines, and my partner in the booth from NPFsports.com, Chris Kaharski. And Chris, these two teams had an easy route here. Big wins last week in their district games. Of course, Dunmore beat Lakeland by 14. York Catholic took care of Newport by 30 points. But tonight, we really find out how good these teams are.
Yeah, if you look at both teams' schedules, there were times that neither team was challenged during the season, and I think both coaches are aware of that. And they're still trying to find out about their team. How good are they? Are they state contenders? I think they're two quality teams. There's no doubt about that, but we'll find out more about them tonight.
Last week in that big win, the Fighting Irish put up 538 rushing yards. Tonight, they're going to need a big night from their running back, Jakar Kennard. He's our Contafio Collision spotlight player.
Yeah, there's no doubt Kennard is a talent. Bloodlines are there. His older brother was an all-state player playing college football now. He's tough physically, even though he's not that big. Offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. He's definitely not the only part of their offense, Bob, but he is the key. He's the one who makes things happen.
So with that big offense, Dunmore's defense is going to come up big tonight if they want to win. Nicholas Lawler in the linebacker, he's our other Contafio Collision spotlight player. He needs a big game.
You know, I love Nicholas Lawler as a football player. He is exactly where he should be at a linebacker position. Coming into this season, I thought he was going to be one of the better linebackers in District 2. He proved that. Leading tackler on the Bucks defense, and he'll make plays at anywhere on the field. And he's the leader on the defense. They have a good overall defense they've had for several seasons now. I think Dunmore's defense will have a strong night tonight.
This is the first meeting between these two teams. The winner advances in the PIAA State Playoffs. The opening kick and the starting lineups are on the way.
You're watching the rivalry of the week on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wendy's.
And the Fighting Irish of York Catholic, 10-1 out of the York Adams League. They take the field and take on the Dunmore Bucks out of the Lackawanna Football Conference Division 3 champs and also the champs in District 2. Good evening. Welcome back, everyone, to Harmon Guy Stadium. We're getting set for this PIAA Class AA playoff game, but before we do, let's head it down to the third member of our crew, Erin Dugan. And Erin, we know about Jack Henzis, and he keeps moving up that list.
Absolutely, Bob. Coach Henzis, known as a very successful coach for many years, been around the game a long time, but some people may not realize he is actually the winningest active high school football coach in Pennsylvania history. The late George Curry holds the win record with 455 wins. Coach Henzis right behind with 420, and believe it or not, coming in at number 3, Coach Roth from Southern Columbia. And Bob, there's a chance if both Dunmore and Southern Columbia win through, they could end up playing each other this season.
Still a lot of football, Aaron, to play, though. Southern Columbia playing tonight against South Williamsport in the District 4 title. Dunmore won the toss. They deferred to the second half, and on the kickoff, it goes out of bounds. So we'll see this potent York Catholic Fighting Irish offense come on the field. They average 32 points per game. A running team will spread you out, Chris. We'll have to see if that gives Dunmore trouble early on.
Yeah, Dunmore didn't see too many spread offenses during the regular season, but I'm sure they'll be ready for everything they're going to see tonight.
Joe Kemick is the quarterback. He is a senior, and they give it to Kennard, first play off the left side, couple yards. Here are your DePietro Pharmacy, York Catholic starting lineup. Yukemic's the quarterback. He's that second part of that 1-2 punch. He's thrown for over 1,200 yards and rushed for over 1,000. Behind him, Brandon Kennedy, is the leading receiver. 5 touchdowns on the year, and they are big up front. William Landis, 6'5", 340-pound junior. Yukemic's first pass goes out to Kennedy, and he'll be close to a first down up towards the 44-yard line.
Well, Dunmore's going man-to-man with the 4 receivers, Bob, so they're giving a pretty big cushion to start the game. Good job coming up defensively by the defensive back that time for the Bucks, stopping the receiver before he could get the first down, but this brings up a 3rd down and short for the Fighting Irish.
This is an offense that really Dunmore has never seen this year, Chris. Kennard with running room, puts the Jets on, has some room up inside Bucks territory now to the 47-yard line. Here now the DePietro's Dunmore defensive line. Nick Shoemaker leads them with 52 tackles up front, 12 are for a loss. Linebackers will have to be active tonight. Unisco, 90 tackles on the season. Don Vito in for Joe Galinas, who is injured. And the secondary, Nate Fangio has 3 interceptions. Borgia, number 13, he's on the outside. He may get picked on a little bit. He's just a freshman. Run option, Yukemic, first carry. About a yard on that.
Again, Dunmore is going to have to be ready right at the line of scrimmage, Bob. Although York Catholic doesn't run a hurry-up offense, they do run a spread no-huddle offense. So, again, Dunmore's got to be prepared for every play. Did a better job that time stopping the first down run.
Dunmore giving up 8.5 points per game this season. Scores 14 last week to Lakeland. Yukemic in the shotgun again, over the middle to Kennedy. Bounces off one, another first down, up to the 36.
Well, again, one thing Dunmore's going to have to do tonight is they're going to have to tackle well. And you saw on that play, 2 missed tackles by the Bucks. They set their linebackers a little deeper on that, expecting a pass play. But again, if they're going to tackle like that, could be a long night for the defense.
Yukemic, 17 touchdowns through the air. They'll stay on the ground to Big Kennard. And the first tackle for a loss for the Bucks is taken by Don Vito.
Good penetration by the Bucks defense that time. They're going to need more of that, especially on first down, Bob. If they can put York Catholic into passing situation, you know, Coach Henses and Coach McHale can get the defensive alignment and the defensive personnel they want out there. First down's going to be very important in this game for both teams.
Brennan and Kennedy off to the left. Yukemic looking that way. Into the flat. Up to the 22-yard line. His first catch of the night is junior Riley Brennan. Of course, one of the Weiss Market's keys to the game, you mentioned, Chris, they have to tackle in the secondary.
Yeah, and again, missed tackles will cost you first down sometimes, and we've seen that already once in this game for the Dunmore defense.
Fighting Irish putting a drive together. Kennard inside the 20. Couple yards on that, so on their first possession, the Fighting Irish are in the Toyota red zone.
Good job by Lawler and Lawless that time for Dunmore after getting past the initial Dunmore defender. Kennard was able to cut it up, but the 2 defenders for Dunmore there. It could have been a bigger gain.
Here comes the rush put on up the middle. Yukemic keeps it, has room, picks up a block. Towards the end zone, touchdown, Fighting Irish. From 18 yards, the senior picks up his 11th rushing touchdown of the season.
And that's the dimension Yukemic brings to this Fighting Irish team. He really is an athletic kid. This is supposed to be a pass. Nobody open, no support on that side for the Dunmore defense. Again, another missed tackle down at about the 5-yard line, Bob, and a very impressive first drive for the Fighting Irish. Nice balance of run and pass. Dunmore was back on their heels, I think, a little bit on that first drive.
Nick Bazil in for the extra point. Kyle Domer is the holder. Kick is blocked at the line of scrimmage. But York Catholic takes the opening possession, 10 plays, 65 yards, and they lead Dunmore 6-0.
Catafio's Collision Center is a proud sponsor of the Dunmore Bucks. Catafio's Collision and the Catafio family would like to wish the best to our Bucks.
So Chris, that spread offense giving fits to Dunmore early. What did you see from the defense? Maybe they have to change up on their next possession.
Well, again, the tackling was a little bit of an issue on that drive, but they were giving some room to the receivers. They didn't try to go down. York Catholic did not try to go downfield. So, Dunmore might have to, again, I saw them dropping their linebackers a little bit deeper in the passing situations, Bob, to try to stop those intermediate routes. But they're going to have to make some adjustments, no doubt about it. That was way too easy for York Catholic, and the Fighting Irish deserve a lot of credit. They came out right away and established themselves offensively.
So Bazil has it teed up, and he kicks a nice one down to the 6 for Doherty. Doherty spins out. Good return up to the 36-yard line. Here are the DePietro Pharmacy Dunmore starting lineups. Quarterback, Gavin Darcy. He's thrown for over 708 yards, 10 touchdowns on the season. Big catch last week by their tight end, George Cole. He's the leading receiver, 11 catches on the year. And up front, they're going to be tested. Jerry Longo, he's one of the returners on that right side, 6'2", 250. So Dunmore comes in averaging 38 points per game, 293 yards on the ground. This defense gives up 14. And a big surge from the offensive line up past the 40 to the 41. That's a good way to start.
And again, they're going to go with the big fullback this time. Obviously, he's an option in this running game, Bob. If they want to try to key on Lasher and watch where he goes, the fullback, Petrowski, can get a lot of yardage for the Bucks offense.
He averages over 7.1 yards. Here's Lasher's first carry. He's carrying Fighting Irish up to near the 50 to the 47. First down, Dunmore.
I had seen Kyle Lasher on film a couple times, Bob. Last week was the first week I saw him live. He is very powerful for his size. And you see there, he just keeps the legs going. Two York Catholic players being dragged by Lasher. He has really turned into more of a power back than I ever would expected from him.
1,200 yards for the senior. 20 touchdowns on the year. Darcy's first pass is out into the flat. Nate Fangio pulls it in. Here we look at it again, ground angle. So Fangio in as a receiver.
And Dunmore's done a good job this year using that passing game to keep people honest. Gavin Darcy, he's not going to get a lot of headlines, Bob, but he has done what they've asked him to do. And obviously, it's very important when you get into the state playoffs because teams will say, well, if you're one-dimensional, we're going to make you beat us with the pass. Dunmore, I think, is capable of doing that this year.
Big push there, Lasher. Couple of hard yards, close to another first down for Dunmore.
So this will bring Dunmore's first third down of the day. Obviously, this is a situation Coach Henses would love to be in all night. If it's third down, he wants 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. We know Dunmore is very good at getting that 1 yard.
The other thing, too, Dunmore does not want that offense to have the ball back. They want to keep the time of possession up. Lasher finds a little crease up to the 41 and a first down. Here is the DePietro Pharmacy York Catholic defense. Pinar up front, 290, 54 tackles on the season. Behind him, Ryan Sewell's their leading tackler. How about 100 tackles on the year? 16 of those are for a loss. 66 are solo. And behind them, the secondary is Brewer. He's a senior, 39 tackles, 3 interceptions. Petrosky finds room, and the big fullback mumbles his way down to the 26.
This is what Dunmore wants to do. They want to establish themselves up front. Power football has always been a Dunmore trademark, especially with a fullback like him. I mean, he can rumble. I'll tell you that much. Right there was a great run. Great job by the offensive line too on that run.
You may see Petrosky get some more carries tonight, Chris. Joe Galinas, the backup to Lasher, is out today. And of course, Colin Holmes was out last week. His return is up in the air. Good job by Fighting Irish. Wrapping him up is their leading tackler, Sewell. He shoots in from his linebacker spot.
Good penetration that time. It's the first time we've seen them get into the backfield and catch Lasher back there. So no gain on the play. They'll give him the forward progress back to the 25. But York Catholic's going to need more of that to stop this Dunmore running game. They have to get to Lasher before he can get his legs moving.
Back to the eye they go. Darcy back. Out and finds Doherty. Doherty up inside the 20 to the 19. About 7 yards. So Dunmore now in the Toyota red zone. On the move.
Again, nothing fancy here. A little play action. Freeze the linebackers. Another intermediate pass route. Good route by Doherty, who just does a little turn to the outside. Dunmore loves that part of the passing game. They'll go deep to keep you honest, but that's what's going to chew up some yardage for the Bucks, those type of pass plays.
Doherty coming in at 12 catches on the season. Lasher trying to use that speed, powers his way inside the 15. Looks like it's another first down for the Dunmore Bucks.
So both teams coming out offensively and doing a lot of good things. Look at the hole that time. Lasher had a gigantic hole to run through. There was nobody there for York Catholic initially, and Lasher gets down for the first down inside the 15. Dunmore's moving just like York Catholic did on their first drive.
Dunmore, though, a good, nice mix-up, pass and run. Lasher with room, holds on to the ball. Still on his feet. First and goal, Dunmore Bucks.
And we saw this last week a little bit from Lasher down in the red zone. I mean, he is determined. Watch the determination. He gets hit a little bit in the upper body, keeps his feet, does a spin move. 2 players on there trying to rip the ball out, Bob. 5 more white shirts come on top, and the pile's still moving. And that's all Kyle Lasher. He gets a little help from his lineman at the end, but great power football by Lasher.
You saw out in front, Rocco LaCapra and Nick Shoemaker, great blocks pulling from that left side. They're actually going to move the chains out. I gave them a first down. It's hard to tell from our angle tonight, but it looks pretty nice up in this Borelli Construction press box.
And even if he doesn't get it, well, he did get it. Either way.
There you see it.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be good news for Dunmore. Yeah. Either a second and inches or a first and goal. Bucks are knocking on the door here trying to take the lead because don't forget, York Catholic missed that extra point, Bob. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the game.
The student section, the band, and the cheerleaders just arrived here to Hazleton for Dunmore. They're going to come in and see their team down by 6, but knocking on the door. Lasher. Nothing fancy from the Bucks up to the 3. 10th play of this drive. It started at their own 35.
Dunmore can be patient with the running game here. They're inside the 5-yard line. You don't panic just because you got a yard gain. You keep going with what got you here, Bob, and that's the running in between the tackles. And my guess is they'll go back to that again on this play.
They'll shift Morocco over to the left side, and that's where they'll go that side. And behind Morocco, will they give it to him? They do. Dunmore, touchdown. The Bucks respond with a long drive of their own, and with the extra point, could take the lead.
do a little bit different. They go to the outside this time. See if Lasher can get around the corner. And you can't arm tackle Kyle Lasher. You saw there on that play, Bob. It was number 10 for York Catholic. That's Brendan Kennedy. If you're going to try to arm tackle him, you're not going to bring him down. And good run by Lasher. Was patient. Then he dragged a couple people into the end zone. The Bucks have tied it up here 6-6.
Mark Rinaldi, the senior, on for the extra point. 50 of 62 this year. A big one coming up. He has the blue shoes on, and this one is up, and it is through. So an 11-play, 65-yard drive. The extra point is up, and the Bucks take the lead in this first round of the state playoffs, 7-6.
Well, good answer by the Bucks. Serafina Family Restaurant, an affordable restaurant with a fun and casual atmosphere. Visit us on Drinker Street in Dunmore and enjoy our homemade Italian food and much more. We will not disappoint. Let's go Bucks.
Back inside the Burrell Construction press box, Bob I, Chris Kaharski, Aaron Dugan on the sidelines. So 2 long drives from these teams that can put up some big numbers on the offense. Now that's established, Chris. Now it's up to the defenses to make a stop.
Well, it's about adjustments now, Bob. Both offenses proved they could do what they want. The game plan that they put in, both yielded touchdowns on the first score. Now the defense have to make some adjustments here.
Rinaldi all the way down to the 9. And bringing it up is Manuel Montez. And he goes up to the 29-yard line. So here comes York Catholic on. They're on the York Adams League. And they won their first district title a week ago. They beat Newport. 3 previous trips to the Class A title, they lost. So finally, 4th time the charm for the Fighting Irish. So they're excited just to be here. How do they respond to the bright lights? Well, they responded pretty good at their opening drive.
Yeah, this is the first time for them ever in the state playoffs, because back when they won their first district title, there were no state playoffs.
1982. I was in high school, Chris, as were you. Yokomic back. Dropped by Angelo, the senior. So there is their coach, Eric Depew. He's in his 6th season.
And again, York Catholic coming out this time, play action on first down, Bob. Again, trying to freeze those linebackers of Dunmore. Actually had a receiver open. The throw was a little low. But this is what Dunmore wants. They love this, 2nd and 10. Puts the Bucks in a better personnel situation here. They know what they want to do in passing situations.
So no one next to Yokomic. 4 wideouts going to go back out. Short pass to Kennedy, and he taken down quickly on the outside by Fangio.
You know, York Catholic's not afraid to throw the football, Bob. Yokomic threw for 275 yards in a game earlier this season. So if they feel like that's what they have to do to win the football game, he'll toss it around a little bit tonight.
Yokomic can also run at 298 yards rushing last week. Trying to set up a middle screen. Shoemaker almost picked it off. Right into the hands of the receiver, Kennedy. Boy, Shoemaker had it. Kennedy pulled it in, and he picks up good yardage past the 45.
Well, again, the Bucks almost read this. Oh, right off the fingertips. And kind of a lucky bounce there as it went right to the receiver, Kennedy. Good run after the catch, gets the first down, and York Catholic averts the 3rd down situation.
Kennard. Nifty through, still at his feet. 14 yards for Jakar Kennard. Found a little hole, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah, and he really did a good job that time. Once he got through the line of scrimmage, a little bit of an explosion there. And then again, some tackling issues for Dunmore. And we're Catholic after that 3rd down conversion's on the move.
Quickly out to Kennedy, has a blocker. Nice job and tackle by the freshman Borgia. Again, they may go after him a little bit tonight with the injuries. Of course, one of the Wise markets keys to the game for Dunmore. Limit the possessions of York Catholic. Starts on defense. You have to get off on 3rd down.
No doubt about it, Bob, and that's a great job by Borgia. That's what you want to do on these little pass plays. No yards after the catch.
First throw downfield by Yokovic, broken up nicely by Doherty. 3rd down on the way.
Yeah, it was a good call by you, Bob. That's the first time they went past the marker on a pass attempt. This is not a bad throw by the quarterback here. He's patient, he waits, but great job recovering that time by Doherty, sitting back and waiting till the ball was thrown and getting a hand down on it, and this is forced as a 3rd down situation.
Dunmore needs a big play from their defense. They're going to rush 4. Yokovic nowhere to go. Chased and just throws it out of bounds. Good pursuit by Lasher. Let's see now what the Fighting Irish want to do. Will they punt it away? Let's look at it again on the field level.
Well, Lasher made the play to close the deal, but really, if you look at that play, it was Shoemaker who got in the backfield and forced the pocket to flush. But give Lasher credit, too. He didn't let him get away and force the bad throw.
York Catholic's going to gamble. 4-man rush. Dunmore drops back. They're going to go long. They have a guy. It's taken in by Brennan, and they give him a touchdown. Wow, oh my. York Catholic, 35 yards to Riley Brennan. And that silences the Dunmore crowd for now.
Well, Dunmore had 2 players back there. They had the man outside, Bob, covering him on I think a man situation, but the safety could not get over in time to help. Didn't take the exact angle either, and great effort by York Catholic to get this ball in the end zone. That was on a 4th and 8. The Bucks give up a 35-yard touchdown pass.
Defense was almost there. New York will go for 2. Jet sweep around, and over the middle, they're going to get a flag down. And Borgia, he was grabbing Sewell in the end zone.
Yeah, he put the left hand out to knock the ball down, Bob, but I think he had the right hand on the body before the ball got there. So York Catholic will get another shot at it half the distance to the goal line, make it a little easier.
Flag on the 2-point conversion.
Our crew tonight, out of District 4, Fritz Snyder is our referee. Yokovic remains out. 5 receivers gone out, and Yokovic throws it in the ground. So 2 conversions are no good, but York Catholic has 2 touchdowns on their opening 2 possessions, and they are up by 5. Gives us time now with 38 seconds left in this first quarter, Chris, to talk about our other local teams in action tonight. We have, of course, Scranton Prep playing Montoursville. That is in the state playoffs, Class 3A. Montoursville's up 7-6 in the first. State College is playing Williamsport, Class 6A. The Millionaires are up 7. Also in the state game, Lackawanna Trails playing Williams Valley at Scranton High School. That's scoreless in the first. The only District 2 championship tonight, Chris, 4A, right? North Pocono's leading Berwick 14-3. And you can see these scores at npfsports.com.
Just a quick update. Scranton Prep just scored again, Bob, so they're actually up 13-7, I believe. Trying to see if they made the extra point or not. Yes, they did. 13-7 Scranton Prep in the first quarter. Also, Lackawanna trails Williams Valley.
Okay.
Scoreboard didn't get updated. I'm getting the scores before they go up on the scoreboard. So 6-0 Williams Valley up.
So the Vikings are up over the Lions. Here, very entertaining first half. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Can Dunmore answer now? Down 12-7. Nice leg by Bazil. Doherty backs up to his 4. This time the special teams is there for York Catholic. Dunmore's possession starts at the 19. Impact players. Of course, we talk about Kyle Lasher. He's the main guy. Morocco on the offensive line going against some big guys tonight. And Doherty's already made a play in the secondary. So those are your Nina Wing Bites and Pizza impact players.
Well, let's see if Dunmore can do the same thing York Catholic did, answer the score. Both teams have done well offensively so far. Somebody's defense has to make some stops here.
These two teams really don't turn the ball over that much. Lasher really going nowhere.
Adjustments. A lot of times, coaches will tell you, especially when you're playing against good competition, Bob, adjustments can change a game. Again, the defenses are going to have to try to do some different things here because so far the offenses have ruled so far tonight.
So that will do it. The first quarter's in the book. And York Catholic has made the trip to Hazleton, and they lead Dunmore 12-7 after the one.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Keystone Container Service, a family-owned and operated company that's been serving contractors, homeowners, and small businesses for many years in Northeast PA. Keystone Container provides various sizes and types of containers. Call today, 1-888-969-2400, or visit KeystoneContainer.com.
Back for the second quarter, Harmon Guy Stadium in Hazleton. This is the PIAA Class AA first round. York Catholic out of District 3, leading Dunmore 12-7, but Dunmore's trying to respond. They're going to go long pass, and it intercepted. Jokovic has it from his 49, has blockers. Jokovic all the way down to the 5-yard line, and there is the first big defensive play of the game.
Yeah, in a game of offensive early dominance, finally one of the defenses makes a play. Gavin looking to his left. Receiver's down there, but hung up too much in the air, and it was good coverage on the play by Jokovic, and also he gets the good return. Don't forget, he runs the ball very well, and this sets up York Catholic in a great position, first and goal.
So we looked for that first big play. Down on the field is Doherty.
Yeah, he was blocked right after. He was the intended receiver, and somebody laid a pretty big block on him. Hopefully he's okay. Dunmore already down some starters going into this game, and obviously they need Doherty on the field.
So the Dunmore defense now turns around, and they have to stop York here. They don't want to trail by too much in this game. So here is the triple stack. Kennard knocked, but he falls forward. Making that first hit was Kyle Harity, number 34.
Well, can Dunmore put up a wall here? Can they get a stop? It's not going to be easy. It's never easy against a good football team when you have a first and goal from the 4, but Dunmore's got that type of defense, Bob. They are capable of doing it. It's going to be tough.
Kennard, big hole right side, touchdown York Catholic. Off the turnover, Fighting Irish convert and extends their lead now to 19-7.
Turnovers will kill you. It's a cliche, but it's just so true, and especially when you give your defense, put them on a short field, Bob, and Kennard had no problems here. You know, the linebacker came up to fill, but it was too late. He only needed a yard. He got the yard, and get turnover turns into points for the Fighting Irish.
18-7. Bazil in for the extra point. He's already missed one tonight. This one he gets up, and it is good. So 2 touchdowns in a row for the visitors. They've extended their lead now to 12. Welcome back to Hazleton, everyone. State playoffs underway. York Catholic now leads 19-7 after the touchdown off of the interception by Jokic. Now it's up to the offense from the Bucks to respond. Bazil has it teed up, kicks a nice ball, kicks it nice and deep. Lasher and Doherty back to receive. Oh, just like that, they say that, and he squibs one down to the 10. Doherty with room. Doherty tripped up, but a great return for the Bucks. Inside Fighting Irish territory to the 44.
And if it wasn't for Nicholas Anzalone, he's gone. I mean, that's a great play by Anzalone, but watch Doherty can find a crease, get a great double combo block there on the return, and boy, just a footstep away from going to distance. But that gives Dunmore some momentum back here. I think the Bucks are going to be fine on offense, Bob. They just got to find some way to get the defense playing a little bit better at this point.
Doherty in motion. Back to Lasher. Boy, Lasher carries people inside the 35. No excuses to be made for Dunmore. Next man up, but three very important players out, Aaron, including Colin Holmes, one of those out.
Yeah, Bob, you touched on it earlier today. Definitely, it's not a good thing for Dunmore to have those guys out, but Colin Holmes, he's been out the few games, a big impact player. He's been on the sidelines helping the team out. He's been in the huddles. He has his clipboard ready. He's encouraging the guys, and he's still very much a part of this and helping them try to get this win.
We mentioned Galinas, also Noah O'Malley out. He's been out several games, though. He's a wide receiver, a junior with some experience. So the second down play, maybe a yard. First down play, maybe a yard, Chris.
Dunmore went with an unbalanced line that time, Bob. If you watched right before the snap, Shoemaker shifted from the left side to right side to give them three offensive linemen to the right of the center. And that's, of course, the way they ran the football. But give your Catholic credit, they held their ground, only gave up a yard on the play.
Cut back by Lasher, but he runs right into big number 77, William Landis, at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But he's a big guy, 6'5", 340.
He's only a junior, Bob. He still might get bigger. And that was like running into a wall that time. You watch, this play was designed to go up into that hole, but the defensive end did a good job of pushing up field. It actually was number 5.
65, Jared Cole.
Well, Sewell was the one who got upfield to force the cutback a little bit earlier, and then you're right, he came in and Cole came in and finished.
So big third down now for the Bucks. Oh, they drew him off sides. Good play by the junior Darcy to draw that. Movement up front, looked like Adam Bittner.
What did I tell you last week, Bob? Same thing I told you last week. It drives a coach nuts when a kid right near the ball jumps, because you should be watching the ball movement, not listening to the count. Happens in the NFL, happens in college, and of course it happens in high school, but that's a free 5 yards for the Bucks. Again, good job by the quarterback, Darcy, with the hard count.
2 downs to get the first. Lasher bounces off someone. He's hit again. Boy, if he got to the 25, they're going to give it to him, but he's, boy, over a yard short.
He ran into his own guy. Rocco LaCapra got stood up a little bit, and that's who Lasher ran into, and he couldn't recover.
Well, you think through the schedule this year for Dunmore, and no offense to our teams, this may be the best line they see. It's definitely one of the biggest they've seen. I mean, even West Scranton isn't this big. Lakeland has some big guys, but you'd have to say, Nauer and Aaron Landis, 2 giants. Let's try to go to the outside. Lasher going nowhere. Jokic shoots in. He was the first one. Good job by York Catholic to read that, and York will take over on downs.
And yeah, York Catholic sold out on the run that time, Bob. And You know, Dunmore's going to have to approach that maybe a little bit differently. We saw in the second half last week they ran some traps and counter plays and get the defense going one way, not the other. But Yokomick got in there, got the penetration, and his teammates supported him. And Dunmore, a very big turnover on downs. And York Catholic gets the momentum back here, leading by 12.
10 wins this season for York. Their only loss to Berks Catholic was a 4-8 team. That was back in September. They lost 34-0. There's a break for Dunmore. Yokomick picks it up. They can't barely get to him. Maybe a yard gain, if that. Donvito trips him up.
Now, that's not a good sign for Dunmore right now. Here's an opportunity to possibly get them in a second 15 situation, but Yokomick's athletic. He didn't panic. He got the football, got to the outside, and actually gained a couple yards on the play.
Kennard, huge hole. Jakar Kennard breaks it out. 12 yards up to the 39. First down, York Catholic. And that parted like the Red Sea.
Yeah, it was a draw play, and it was well executed that time. You see 2 Bucks upfield, Bob, on the right side. Those guys, you know, thinking it's a pass, trying to rush the quarterback. Well, that's what opened up the hole on the left side. Kennard wasn't even touched for a while, then broke another tackle.
He needs 55 yards for 2,000 on the season. Spins out of that. Kennard still at his feet. Ball's on the turf. Dunmore recovers.
Boy, the Bucks needed that badly. And I believe coming up with the football, we'll have to watch the replay.
Well, look, great angle here. We say maybe it's Lawless.
I mean, Kennard's just fighting for yardage and got stripped from behind. That was big number
Morocco.
77, Morocco, yeah. And good job recovering the football before it goes out of bounds, too.
Fangio.
So Fangio, give him credit as well. And York Catholic going to take a timeout here, Bob. I think they know that was a big play in this game. I think they want to calm their kids down and get them focused again.
Don Tomaso timeout gives us a chance to take our breath. We'll take a timeout here. Dr. Perry and Dr. McWilliams of Dunmore Family Chiropractic want to wish the Bucks good luck tonight. We provide chiropractic care for your entire family. We are now accepting appointments. Call today to make yours. 570-955-5435. So after the first turnover of the game for York, Dunmore recovers the fumble. They'll have good field position at their own 49. Back to Lasher. Big push by the line that time. Off the left side, he picks up 7.
Bob, we saw earlier the turnover by Dunmore, and York Catholic turned that into points. Now Dunmore has to turn the tables. They have to turn this turnover to points. It balances things out then. Even though they'd still be down on the scoreboard, it negates that turnover, and it really gets your head back in the game.
I think you're going to see Dunmore now to stick to that ground game, do some play action. After that long pass was intercepted by Darcy, I doubt you'll see anything like that, at least here in the second quarter. Back to Petrosky. He has the first down up to the 40.
And I understand why they did that, because, again, you have to at least show the look. And it was just good defense by York Catholic on that INT, but at the same time, Bob, Dunmore has to stick with what they're best at, and this you're seeing it right here, power football. Petrowski needed just to get a couple yards. He got it. They get the fresh set of downs, and I think you're going to see Darcy go back to that short intermediate passing game. That worked in the early drives. It worked on the first drive where they scored. That's more of what Dunmore's good at, because, again, York Catholic's going to make sure they don't get beat deep.
Darcy back to pass. He is going to go down long, and he's going to try to hit Lawler. It shows what we know. And Lawler only had a step on the defensive back. Goes incomplete.
Yeah, they tried to sneak the tight end out there, and you're right. That shows what we know. And they go deep for the second time tonight. And you got to wonder, Darcy a little hesitant there after throwing the pick the first time. He definitely didn't make sure he didn't underthrow the football. And to be honest with you, that's a smart decision. Overthrow, you take that every time over the underthrow.
And it's going to be tough to throw towards Jokic. We've seen he's such a good athlete on both sides of the ball. Back to Lasher. He cannot cut through. Sewell in there on the bottom. Again, and there's Jokic on top. Loss of 1.
Bob, Dunmore shifting their formations a lot, trying to get York Catholic out of position, but the Fighting Irish are moving towards the rotation of the formation. So if it's a strong left, it moves to a strong right. They're putting more people over there. That's why you're not seeing a lot of room for Lasher to run, because York Catholic has too many players over on that side of the field. Dunmore's going to have to go to some of those counters to keep York Catholic honest. I think you'll start seeing that here in a little bit.
So they'll put Darcy in the shotgun 3 wideouts, and they'll run a draw to Lasher. Lasher, he can get the first down, and shooting in is Kennedy. He's going to be 3 yards short. Thought Lasher might have had it, but boy, give Kennedy a lot of credit. Shot right in.
Great play call by Dunmore here. We saw the draw play work earlier for York Catholic. Right once he broke through that tackle, I thought he was going to get there too, but at that time he kind of was waiting for the contact there instead of just maybe trying to head to the sidelines using his speed. But what it does do, Bob, it gives Dunmore a manageable situation. If they don't get yardage on that play, then they're going to have to punt the ball away. Now they have an opportunity to get a first down.
Last time on 4th down, York Catholic just sold out and brought everybody. Let's see what they'll do now. Can Dunmore counter with that? They're going to go right up the middle. And Lasher comes out. Kyle Lasher still on his feet inside the 20 to the 16. 12-yard gain for Kyle Lasher. That moves the chains.
Boy, that was smash mouth football right there. They moved the motion, man. You see him come right to the middle of formation just as a fullback. So basically he had a double lead from 2 players. And then watch this. Look at the determination. They're trying to strip the ball. That's always a good idea for your defense, try to strip the ball, but you got to make sure somebody else has a hold on him to tackle him. Otherwise, he's going to take you for 5 yards, and that's exactly what Kyle Lasher just did.
Flag comes in before we could even get a snap off. Fritz Snyder again out of District 4. They're calling on Dunmore, backs them up 5 out of the Toyota red zone. Brings up a 1st and 15.
Yeah, we talked a lot last week, the Lakeland-Dunmore game, about Lakeland not leaving their game plan while the game was still close. Dunmore has to keep the same philosophy. Yeah, they're down 2 scores here, but there's so much time left in this football game. They got to keep doing what they're good at. Don't go away from the game plan. It's way too early, and they seem to be doing that.
Petrosky almost brought it up to the 15, so they're using that fullback tonight, a little bit more than they did last week. Give Lasher a little bit of a rest, too.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're letting him bully over. Boy, I tell you what, he could have maybe made it to the end zone there. He kind of tripped at the last second. You can see his feet getting taken out from under him. But that was a power move by Petrowski again. And that's a nice 1-2 punch Dunmore is delivering tonight.
7 yards on that gain. Back to Lasher. Couple yards inside the 15. Kennedy on the tackle. So they're trying to spring Lasher in the middle, at least sneak up on him.
They haven't had much luck to the outside, to be honest with you, Bob. York Catholic's been able to get the numbers out there, and that's limited what kind of damage Lasher could do. So they're just sticking between the tackles. That's Dunmore football, always has been. And it's worked for the most part, although this is a different situation now with the 3rd and 6.
Darcy back, gonna go to the tight end, and he had him. Cole was there, and Darcy missed him.
I think Darcy just got too excited. He realized how wide open he was. He just was trying to get the ball to him as quick as possible and didn't deliver an accurate throw. Again, just a quick drop, wide open. You know, I don't know if the tight end Cole was supposed to move towards the outside or plant where he did. He planted. Darcy threw like he was going to move towards the sideline, so maybe a little miscommunication there between quarterback and tight end.
So another 4th down facing Dunmore. They bring 2 wideouts far to the right. They're going to roll them right and go back to the left. Good play. They have Cole in a blocker. George Cole, touchdown Dunmore. Great play call. Took advantage of the over pursuit and got Cole the ball.
Outstanding play call. Look at the 3 players chasing Darcy. He's patient. They set it up with 2 blockers in front of Cole, so the missed opportunity on the previous play, Dunmore comes right back to the tight end, and they cut this back to a 1-score game with 2:53 left here in the first half.
So Dunmore converts York's first turnover of the game into points. Rinaldi on for a big extra point, and it is good. So we got ourselves a ball game again. A lot of offense out there on the field tonight in Hazleton. 2:53 remaining in this first half. So a 10-play drive, 51 yards. And we have ourselves a game, 19-14. Nina's Restaurant has 3 convenient locations, Dunmore, Blakely, and South Abington. Stop in and try our award-winning wing bites, fresh chicken, and world's best secrets wing sauce. Visit our website for our full menu and know that everything is made fresh to order at Nina's. Coach Hens's 50 years. Aaron talked most wins by any current active coach in the state of Pennsylvania. Dunmore, well known. We talked to Eric Depew before the game from York, and of course he knows about Dunmore, knows about how physical they are. Well, they're starting to show it a little bit too.
Yeah, the reputation precedes them when you have that much success, and they've had it on the state level as well. You know, people notice, and obviously Coach Hendricks has been doing this a long time. He's a class act and a great football coach, and a lot of people have a lot of respect around the state for Coach Hendricks, and the way Coach Depew talked, he is one of those people as well.
So Rinaldi has it teed up at the 40. Montes for about his 14, and the special teams is there for the Bucks. Great play down there by Yanisco. And now the Bucks defense, can they stop this potent offense with 2:47 remaining? So we've seen some impact players from York and brought to you by Nina's. We know what Yoakum can do. We haven't seen much of Hamilton and the linebacker, but Landis, we talked about him a little bit as well.
Well, Dunmore, we mentioned, Bob, remember, York Catholic turned the Dunmore turnover into points. Well, Dunmore countered that. So now it's up to the Dunmore defense to get a stop, something York Catholic has done in this first half. They got the stop on the turnover on downs.
Kennard grounds on the ball. Dunmore has the fumble. Huge mistake by the Fighting Irish, and the Bucks have the ball at the 19-yard line.
You know, if York Catholic can just get a couple first downs, even if they don't score before half, they run the clock out and are at least up going into halftime. Yeah, you just saw it's low snap, and that's surprising from Yoakum, the 4-year starter, 2 years as the quarterback. He kind of panicked there and still tried to complete the play. Never got the ball to the running back, and Dunmore, the turnover already in the Toyota red zone. And boy, I'll tell you what, back-to-back turnovers by York Catholic. Dunmore now has the momentum in this game.
This is what playoff football in the state is all about. Converting these plays, and you can't make mistakes. So Lasher up the right side. We talked about how York Catholic would perform under the bright lights in the state playoffs for the first time ever. They did well on their first 2 possessions, but the second quarter, 2 fumbles in a row. And they let that Dunmore offense have the ball 2 straight times. Dunmore will get the ball, Chris, to begin the third quarter as well.
Yeah, now Dunmore needs to do their job. They have to take advantage of the second turnover, and obviously it's a tough situation for York Catholic. Their backs are against the wall, but they need to stop.
Lasher threw right side up to the 10. Good power football by Kyle Lasher, who had 1,200 yards coming into this game and is adding on to this, his senior season.
I'll tell you, I mean, the Bucks really missed Colin Holmes, but the way Lasher has played, he has really stepped up his game. I mean, they were kind of going to be a combo back situation, which Dunmore's really done if you think about the last 3 or 4 years. They've gotten a lot of playing time. Holmes was their leading rusher as a sophomore.
Lasher behind his line, power, touchdown Dunmore. They take the lead. That is Buck football.
I have one word to describe Kyle Lasher here in the first half: determination. It hasn't been just about being the fastest kid on the field. It hasn't been about being the toughest kid on the field. It's about being the most determined player on the field. Watch this. I mean, he's just swatting players aside, and he wanted that touchdown more than anything. He deserved it. Great job by the Bucks to take advantage of back-to-back turnovers by the Fighting Irish.
And Jokovic, he's a big kid. I saw him in the pregame. Rinaldi, this extra point is good, but it doesn't matter right now anyway, as Dunmore takes the lead 20-19. They scored 2 unanswered touchdowns off of 2 York Catholic turnovers. Huge mistakes by their 2 big players for the Fighting Irish. First it was Kennard with a fumble, and then it was Jokovic who couldn't handle the shotgun snap. So now you wonder what the Fighting Irish are thinking. They haven't been in a close game in a while.
Well, here's the thing too, Bob, is that watching these 2 teams through the first half, I think they're very, very evenly matched teams. So that's when the turnovers become the X factor. And obviously Dunmore's only up a point, but we're seeing a little bit York Catholic for the first time today, gun shy. We're looking a little nervous on the sidelines. If you saw that last picture of their coach Depew there, right there, and you know, Dunmore's got the confidence right now, and maybe it goes back to these kids have been here before too. They understand the big spotlight. We'll see if York Catholic can come back. They're capable of making big plays, but right now Dunmore has that big M word we always talk about, it, momentum.
Yep, Big Mo on the side of Dunmore. It all started with special teams off the last kickoff. Good kick by Rinaldi. Mantos from his 9. Can't really get anywhere. He gets up to about the 26-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for the Fighting Irish. You think they're going to go to the air with Jokovic?
I think they're going to try to move the football and see if they can get into a position where they feel like they could get some points on the board. There is a flag on the play. They actually called that. Okay.
Against York Catholic, called on the hold.
That could change things a little bit, because now that's going to push them back inside their 20. Coach Depew might want to play this a little more conservative. Although Dunmore has 3 timeouts left, Bob, so can't necessarily play the clock game here and just run out the half. Coach Hensels might decide we're going to force them to punt the ball or give up the ball. Maybe we get some good field position. Maybe we can get a late try for a score. So York Catholic's got a big decision to make here with 1:15 remaining. They do have 2 timeouts remaining, but right now it's about field position.
So back to the 11 for the Fighting Irish. 16, excuse me. My eyes have deceived me. Kennard avoids 1 tackle, tries to pick up a block. Jokovic got in front, and Kennard ran about 5 yards after maybe going about 20 yards.
Well, Dunmore had the draw defended better that time, but watch Kennard break through the tackle, and this is about wrapping at this point. Just couldn't wrap him all the way around. Dunmore pursuit comes, but Kennard's too strong. He's too quick. He was able to get out there. You see his quarterback throwing a block for him. Nice job, actually, by the Dunmore defense to fight off the block. That was number 34, Kyle Harity. Otherwise, it could have been a bigger game.
So Yorkovic off that read option. Picks up a first down. They'll stop the clock to the 29.
And York Catholic did what they had to do on this set of downs. They got the first down. Now they can elect just to run the clock out. Dunmore will not use their timeouts because they're not going to have enough time to do anything with it. So I'd be surprised here if it's just something conservative. Expect something conservative here. Maybe another draw play, maybe just a little screen play. Try to get Kennard out in some open space. Maybe he can break one.
Could be the last play of the first half. Back to Kennard. Bounces it outside, has a couple blockers. Good tackling. And I think there's going to be a second left. Are they going to say a second, or are they going to call it the half?
Coach DePue wants some more time put on the clock.
He's up to the 46. I would think there's at least a second.
And he wants a timeout, so he's just not going to go in the locker room. He might try something here, although tough to make a 56-yard play with 1.5 seconds.
1.6.
1.6, the referee says. So again, Dunmore's going to throw a bunch of safeties back. And don't let anything, keep everything in front of you. But here's the thing, Bob, you better tackle.
Coming up at the half, we'll talk to the Southern Columbia Tigers as they play for the district title tonight in District 4. And we'll also have a feature on the Hazleton area cheerleaders. Timeout, York Catholic. As we saw, hey, you never know, one play. We've seen a lot of strange things this year in college football. And maybe it transfers down to the high school level. Boy, Dunmore, though, 13 unanswered points, Chris, off of 2 fumbles when it was 19-7, and York Catholic, the offense, was looking very, very good. But since then, they really haven't done anything on the offensive side. They haven't had the ball as York Catholic. Dunmore has held the possessions.
Yeah, Dunmore on the one turnover got good field position. On the second turnover, they got great field position. But again, they took advantage of both situations. You know, that's 13 points off turnovers. That's huge in a game like this. Now Dunmore's got to be careful, and you can already see Coach Hens has told them they're putting their quarterback, Gavin Darcy, back there. You know, a deep safety position, standing at his 25. They'll let them have something up front, but they're not going to let them beat anybody deep on this play.
You would think this is going to be something short. Yokovic, nice arm to the end zone. It's knocked down and incomplete, and that's how the half ends. No flag on the play. And the Dunmore Bucks, who were down, now have the lead going into the break, 20-19. And I'm sure Coach Hens is extremely happy about the second part of this quarter, and he's down with Aaron.
Coach, 13 unanswered. You've got to love the way that your team responded.
Well, yeah, but, you know, we got to get a better pass rush on their quarterback. They have outstanding quarterback. He's throwing the ball extremely well, and, you know, we're moving the ball offensively, but we hurt ourselves a little bit. They have a good football team.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Have a good one.
Okay, Bob.
So Coach Hens takes his Bucks into the half. When Chris and I return, we'll have some stats, and we'll have first half highlights. It's the PIAA Class AA first round of the playoffs, and the Bucks lead the Fighting Irish 20-19.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Back at Harmon Guy Stadium in Hazleton, Dunmore leads York Catholic at the half in this state playoff game, 20-19. Back inside the booth, Bob Ide along with Chris Kaharski, and Chris has started out with York Catholic. Took a 19-7 lead, 13 unanswered by Dunmore. We got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, all about the turnovers, Bob. Both teams taking advantage of their turnovers. However, Dunmore got one more They were able to put that one in at the end of the half. That's why they have the 1-point lead. Don't underestimate how special teams are going to have an effect on this, too. The extra points definitely already having an effect.
Hey, first quarter highlights belong to York Catholic. They went right to the air, and then they used the leg of their quarterback, Dan Yokimic.
He's a good player. I'll tell you what, he on the interception return and on that run, you could just see how an athlete he is. And Dunmore right there, you see again, Bob, the intermediate passing game. I think that has worked well for them. Obviously, they've tried to go downfield a couple times. That hasn't worked. But once again, it's Kyle Lasher's making the big plays offensively, getting that ball into the end zone a couple times tonight. And
York Catholic took the lead there. Riley Brennan with a touchdown, but then Dunmore went back to work. In fact, I should say York Catholic had the first turnover of the game against Dunmore.
And there's that run back I just mentioned. And don't underestimate the impact of that, getting down to the 4-yard line rather than having to come from the 50. If you think about it, Dunmore has not stopped York Catholic except with the turnovers. York Catholic's been able to move the football. And here was a big play, too. Doherty with that kickoff return after that touchdown-saving tackle by one of the York Catholic players. But
the drive stalled right there. They gave it back. And then this is where everything went off the hinges for the Fighting Irish.
It did stall, but it gave them field position. So that field position, you see when they get the turnover, now it's at midfield. Big hit by Morocco on that play. This was a beautifully set up play. Cole, who missed the chance to have a touchdown in the previous play. They have a little throwback screen. And this was a big mistake by the quarterback here. Again, low snap, not his fault. But he should have realized at that point that the play was broken, done something different, but Dunmore jumped right on it. And then Lasher, once again, we showed that determination to get into the end zone that he's been really known for here in this season. And that's what gave Dunmore the lead along with the extra point. Right now, 1-point game is exactly how it was played in the first half.
Lasher, 22 carries, 93 yards, has 2 touchdowns for Dunmore. Overall, Dunmore has 153 yards total. 126 on the ground, 27 through the air. More of a balanced attack for the Fighting Irish. 98 run, 90 pass, but the difference in the game, as Chris mentioned, 2 fumbles. So Dunmore can extend their lead if they can put a drive together to begin. The second half is underway. Doherty again, trying to give them good field position, and they do. They're up to the 31, are the Dunmore Bucks. So, Chris, any changes at the half for the Bucks?
Well, yeah, I think they have to make some defensive changes. Again, yes, they did force the one turnover was a forced turnover. The other one was a mistake by York Catholic, and they took advantage of scoring on those turnovers. But like I said, they haven't really able to solve the York Catholic offense by getting a stop, forcing the punt, forcing the turnover on down. So I think they're going to have to make some adjustments defensively. Offensively, I think they keep doing what they're doing.
One way to keep York Catholic off the scoreboard is keep the offense off the field. Need a long drive here to begin the third quarter. Right back to their power back, Lasher. And he takes it up for 9. Let's call it 8.
I mentioned in the first half, Bob, that I thought York Catholic was overplaying to the strong formation side. That's why Dunmore was having some problems. This time they finally do go to the counter. You'll see they pull the guard, they pull Shoemaker there, find a nice hole for Lasher up the middle. Again, I think we'll see a little bit more of that, some counter action by the Dunmore offense. It worked against Lakeland last week. We're seeing that play right there worked pretty well on first down.
First down, Dunmore up to the 42. Call it 3 for Kyle Lasher.
And if Dunmore can get into those situations on second down, even third down and short, York Catholic's going to have some issues here in the second half. I mean, that's where Dunmore's strength is, because then they don't have to really do anything different. Just keep running between the tackles, power football. You saw it right there. They only got 3, but that was enough for the first down. Fresh set of downs for the Bucks.
Dunmore looking for their 12th PIAA playoff win in history. Lasher with some room, tried to make a move on Kennard, but he picks up 6 on that, right towards midfield.
Again, if your coach hands us 6 yards on first down, it'll do the job. It will do the job. Give Kennard credit, though. That could have been a bigger play if Lasher can get past him there. Kennard held on, threw him out of bounds. But again, actually, they're going to give him a little bit more on the forward progress, right to midfield. So 7-yard gain on first down, 8-yard gain on the previous first down, Bob.
that's what Dunmore wants.
3 straight rushes by Lasher, trying to wear down this Fighting Irish defense. Four in a row for Lasher. First down at the 42.
And Dunmore's running downhill right now, Bob, and the way you can tell that, watch the defensive formation of York Catholic. They've got 9 guys in the box. Yes, Dunmore's formation is dictating that a little bit because they're going with a tight end and a wing to the strength side. But even with 9 players, they're having trouble slowing down this Dunmore running game here in the early third quarter. So, again, Dunmore really doing a better job here, establishing the line of scrimmage to start this third quarter.
So Darcy's off the play action. Has a receiver over the middle. That is Doherty, and they surprise York Catholic a little bit. Gain of 15 to the 35. So York Catholic on their heels a little bit. Aaron had a chance to talk to their head coach, Eric Depew. Aaron?
Yeah, he said this is a heck of a football game, but he said we're never going to win if we turn the ball over. He was not happy about that in the first half. He also told them, hey, this is going to be a close game. This might come down to one play at the end. So he said whoever has more heart is going to win this game.
Aaron? Borelli. We'll take a break. Dunmore, call a timeout. Back to Hazleton. Dunmore called the timeout, ran a play, but was called for a holding. So that will back them up to the 44, bring up first down and 19. That's where we stand right now. Dunmore opening possession of the third quarter. Little draw to Lasher. And big William Landis pulls down him.
Yeah, a couple developments here in the last couple minutes. The first thing, Bob, was the play action pass by Dunmore. I said they were running downhill, and York Catholic knew that too, and they sold out on the run. Good pass by Darcy. Then they had to burn a timeout. They got to be careful. You don't want to take those timeouts in the second half. You might need them later. And then the penalty. Obviously, we talked about first downs for Dunmore. Dunmore does not want first down in 19s. No doubt about that's a big penalty on the Bucks.
Darcy into the shotgun. And they'll still give it to Lasher, and he shoots through up to the 37, I should say. Third and long on the way for Dunmore. Now you maybe play the field position battle. If you don't get it here, quick kick or something, want to back up York Catholic, I would think, Chris.
Well, here's the thing. You got third and about 13. If you can even get 8 or 9 yards on this play, you probably could go for it at that point. You know, if they get no gain on here, yeah, you got to punt the football away and play the field position. There's a chance, though, you don't have to go for the first down, though, on this play.
Darcy, a little quick out. Great catch on the outside by Fangio. Makes a beautiful cut, and it's a first down, Dunmore.
That's a great throw by Darcy. This is a timing play. He throws the ball before the receiver even turns into his pattern. And again, good job by Fangio to run off the defensive back. They go right to the first down marker. We said they didn't have to do that, but they ended up doing it anyway, and it worked out. Big first down after the 1st and 19 for Dunmore. They do convert on third down.
Dunmore can throw the ball a little bit. Back to Petrosky, the big fullback. Held up about to the 20-yard line. And it looks like Dunmore will be in the Toyota red zone.
Again, Petrowski's been a big part of this Dunmore offense today. The play that was called back on the hold was a big run by him that got him right down to about the 5-yard line. Unfortunately, Again, it didn't count for Dunmore, but it shows just the impact he's having on this game. We know what Lasher's capable of. We know he's over 100 yards already tonight. But again, you have that 1-2 count, keeps York Catholic honest.
So Lasher up for a couple. Notice a couple times on the toss to Lasher. Is it supposed to go outside? He's cutting it back on every play.
Now he's supposed to read his blocks. That play is designed for him to take the option on it. So if he sees a crease, he cuts it up. If not, he keeps stretching it out till he sees one. I think the reason you're seeing cutting up more, Bob, because I think York Catholic's done a good job of containing the outside. So he's forced to try to get 3 or 4 yards instead of maybe a loss on the play.
Couple yards for first, but this time Lasher runs into a wall, and they say the ball is down, and York Catholic has it. Lasher coughs it up. Jarrett Cole has the ball. York Catholic takes over.
Let's see what happens on this play. Lasher bobbled the ball right off the handoff, Bob. He never had it secured. He kept running, trying to secure it, and it just kind of fell out of his hands. And it's a turnover, not as damaging as the last one because, again, the field position is not favorable. It's kind of almost like turning it over on downs, but nonetheless, that evens the turnover 2-2 apiece.
Well, they ran 5 minutes off the clock, and that's the positive output for Dunmore on that. Now the defense needs to stop York Catholic. Back to Yokomic. Couple yards up to the 25. In that second quarter, York Catholic ran 7 plays in the second quarter, Dunmore 17. So we really haven't seen much of that offense after a very good first quarter.
Had a longtime coach tell me, and had a great philosophy about football being a game of attrition, Bob, wearing down the other team. And you see that with Dunmore keeping their offense on the field, wearing down York Catholic's defense.
Oh, Yokomic had nowhere to go. He tossed it up again, and Dunmore recovers. The secondary made that play. There was nowhere for Yokomic to throw to. He ended up running and coughing it up.
You know, Yokomic's a very good football player, you can tell, but he's got to protect the football. Here, he's running with it. Once he runs with it, he's got it tucked in, but watch him let it go loose right here. Dunmore strips the ball.
Morocco again.
Morocco with his second forced fumble of the game. Again, Dunmore with the turnover, not as damaging, Bob, because of where it was, but look where the Bucks are now after the York Catholic turnover.
I'll tell you, you go to a Dunmore practice, they practice stripping the ball at every practice I've been at. That is something they practice, and Morocco's done a nice job twice tonight.
And the difference between York Catholic and Dunmore defensively, Dunmore does what you just said. They practice knocking the ball out, punching the ball out. York Catholic tries to rip the ball out. Big difference, because when you're a running back, you're prepared for that. A lot of times when you're running in the open space, you don't know that hammer's coming down on the football. We've seen Morocco do it twice tonight and force those 2 turnovers. Both things work, but tonight Dunmore's had a little bit more of an advantage with the way they're trying to do it.
No foul for Dunmore on their turnover. Darcy to Cole, and he had him in and out of the hands of the tight end. So third down on the way.
I understand why Darcy went there. The receiver was open, but he also had Lawler running a post pattern, Bob, one-on-one in the middle of the field. He might have had a chance for a touchdown there, but again, this pass is right there, just out of the hands that Cole couldn't hold on to it. I don't know if you saw Lawler in the background there. He had some separation, I thought, between him and the D-back, but again, incomplete pass forces a third down for the Bucks, but no doubt, 4-down territory here for Dunmore.
Back to the eye for the Bucks. Cutting it back is Lawler. Lasher. A lot of L's on this Dunmore team. Lawler, Lasher, and Lawless.
Right.
So that time, it was Lasher. And Lasher comes up to the 23, holds on to the ball, 4th down.
You might say, well, why is Dunmore being so conservative on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6? Well, it's because they know they have 2 downs to get the yardage. Now, did he have a big run there? No, he had a couple yards. But again, it makes it a more manageable situation. 4th and 4, much easier than a 4th and 7, 4th and 8. If you're throwing the ball downfield on third down, incompletion puts you in that situation. Now they can have some options here with Lasher in the backfield.
Dunmore protecting that 1-point lead in the third. Lasher has it. Oh, he almost broke a tackle. Yokovic grabs him, but he gets to the 14.
That play has worked pretty much all night for the Bucks. Again, power football, Lasher just finding enough of a seam to squeeze his body through. I mean, York Catholic knew this was coming, Bob. They knew they only had to get 3 yards. They knew they were going to run the football. And again, saving touchdown tackle by the defensive back, Yokovic.
Yep.
And again, he saves a touchdown, but Dunmore still on the move here.
Lasher, another game over 100 yards. He is the workhorse into the 10.
You know, one thing about Dunmore this year, Bob, is that they thought coming in they would have a combination of Holmes and Lasher. And with Holmes getting hurt towards the end of the season, they've had to rely on Lasher. But the big thing here is Lasher doesn't have a lot of carries this year. They've been so far ahead in games. I've seen games where Lasher and Holmes would have 2 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they're fresh. They have not been running the ball 200 times a season.
They try to sneak it to the fullback. York Catholic ready for that, but he gets to the 6, so third down on the way. Dunmore can get a first down at the 5.
You know, Lasher had, coming into this game, Bob, had 118 carries. You see the premier tailbacks in the high school level, 200, 250. And again, it's because of the way the games went this year. Coach Hens has had to pull his starters out when he was up in about 70% of his games, up 30-0 at halftime. And again, that limited what his varsity players could do. That's going to pay off dividends in the postseason.
Dunmore, their quarter, running their 24th play. And Lasher gets inside the 5, and he's going to be close to a first down.
How can you not love this kid? I mean, the way he runs is just, he has such command of the field. Whether it's finding the right hole, finding power when he needs it, finding speed when he needs it. He's just a fun football player to watch. Dunmore, you know, he's been around, but they just have split carries with him. And, you know, last year, Garrett Murray and Colin Holmes, they've had a lot of backs. But now that it's his show, we're really seeing how good he is.
First and goal, Dunmore from the 4. Lasher behind his big line, his 3rd touchdown of the night. So behind the big line, LeCapra and Shoemaker, along with Petrosky, Lasher has his 3rd touchdown. Rinaldi in for the extra point. And it could be 20 unanswered points for Dunmore. And it is good. So Dunmore converts another fumble by York Catholic into points, and they've extended their lead. Rinaldi with the quick kick to Montes. And the special teams for Dunmore again does a nice job. The Fighting Irish come out at the 25. Let's break it down, Chris. This third quarter, 24 plays run for Dunmore, 2 for York Catholic. Dunmore's converted 3 fumbles into 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and at the same time, they're keeping York Catholic's defense on the field, wearing them down, pounding the football. I mean, this has gone Dunmore's way because of the turnovers and the fact that they have kept possession here since that one big turnover earlier in the game. York Catholic has to maintain possession. That's the most important part for the Fighting Irish at this point.
Kennard just running for his life, loses 5. We have an injured Buck back at the 13, and that looks like Shoemaker.
Well, that's not good news for Dunmore. He's been their best two-way lineman all season long.
I think, maybe not. It might be Shoemaker. It looked like him.
Yeah, I thought that's what.
Yep.
Yeah, it is Shoemaker. That's who I was referring to. I saw the number, but he's been their best two-way lineman. Looks like his own man, Lawler, chasing the play down, kind of ran into him, Bob, and obviously Lawler ended up making the play down at the other end, but it was a tough play for Kennard, who just had bucks all around him that whole play.
Catafio's Collision Center is a proud sponsor of the Dunmore Bucks. Catafio's Collision and the Catafio family would like to wish the best to our Bucks. Bob Ide, Aaron Dugan, Chris Kaharski. We're at Harmon Geist Stadium in Hazleton. First round of the PIAA AA playoffs. I think, Chris, a good chance now to update folks on our local teams on games tonight. Some state playoffs, some district finals. You want me to do them?
Go ahead.
Williamsport leads State College 28-14. Scranton Prep 30, Montoursville 13. Lackawanna Trail losing to Williams Valley 22-6. That's all in the state playoffs. In the District 2 4A title game, in the fourth, North Pocono leads Berwick 14-6. And I know Dunmore Bucks fans are interested. Southern Columbia was up 35-0 over South Williamsport. That was for the District 4 AA title. So they're going to move on. And as you saw in our story at halftime, if you didn't, Southern will play the winner of West Catholic and Schuylkill Haven next Friday night.
Winner of this game plays Ligonier Valley or Bishop McCourt next week.
How about a trivia question? And you're going to know this. What year did Dunmore win their PIAA Class A championship?
Definitely know that one.
Yeah, you'll know that one.
That's easy just from the standpoint. I know pretty much all the District 2 teams when they did win. And obviously for Dunmore, they were there a couple more times.
There they were.
Shows you how hard it is to win. But that was a great team, too.
Now, Shoemaker limping off. Excuse me, Chris. This does not look good. One of their best linemen, not only on offense, but on defense. And it looks like, I don't want to speculate on an ankle, but it kind of looks something like that. Back to the game. Yokovic to the air, and he bounces one out to Kennedy. Third down coming up.
And Yokovic looked really good at the beginning of this game, Bob, but two of those turnovers were on him, and he just doesn't look the same right now. He looks like he's lost some confidence. That throw into the ground. So let's get back to our trivia question, Bob.
We'll do it after this play. York Catholic has come up quickly. Three wideouts to my side, the left side. Yokovic is going to throw it out to the side, and boy, he overthrows Sewell by a lot. Goes incomplete, and you're right. Yokovic has not looked the same since the first quarter. Here comes the punting team for the first time tonight.
They tell you what, he had him wide open too, Bob, and that's a tough throw, though. He's throwing from the right hash all the way over to the sideline, but nobody near the receiver for Dunmore. He just has to get it out to him. Maybe he doesn't get the first down, but he probably has a chance. And I think this is York Catholic's first punt tonight.
It is their first punt. Yokovic does not have a completion since the first quarter. This one taken by the freshman Borgia, and Dunmore has excellent field position inside Fighting Irish territory at the 49. Let's go back to the trivia question, brought to you by Serafina Family Restaurant. What year did Dunmore win their PIAA Class A championship? Chris Kaharski.
1989.
That was the first year of the state playoffs, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I believe it was. I was there.
Where was that game in Altoona?
No, it was in Mechanicsburg.
That's right. That's the year they actually had championships all around the state.
All around the state, yep.
Actually, there was one here in Scranton, Lackawanna County Stadium at the time, I believe.
And Dunmore and I think Berwick was playing in another game on the other side. End around to Doherty, and he's got room. Kennard grabs him and gives a face mask. Flag down, but Doherty goes out of bounds at the 26.
Great play call by the Bucks here, and I thought Doherty was going to try to cut it back. He had a blocker on his left, but he kept going down the sidelines, and then Kennard, out of frustration, pushing him out of bounds, basically grabs his face mask. Not a smart penalty there. Actually.
What's going against Doherty?
I think it might be, Bob. Yeah, that's a good call if you saw it on the replay there. You can stiff arm, but you cannot grasp the face mask. You can have your hand on it, but you can't grasp it, and you saw it from the replay there.
And is this marked off from the point of the foul?
Yes.
So there will be a first down.
Correct. But it takes 15 yards off the play, so.
Fritz Snyder, our referee, they're out of District 4.
The Dunmore fans don't like it, Bob, but they don't have the replay advantage that we do, and you can clearly see Doherty grabbing the face mask. Again.
Let's look at it from a low angle again.
There was nobody on that side of the field for York Catholic either. This is, again, beautifully executed play. You see he tries to stiff arm here, but, yeah, right there he gives the pull. You can see at the end, this is where we thought it was going to be called because Kennard got a little upset with Doherty, but the referee was right on top of it. It is a first down for the Bucks. They have to move the chains here. Or, no, they're saying it's not.
No, it's going to be. They're going to repeat first down?
Yeah, well, they moved it back 15, and it wasn't past the first down marker. Nope. So that's the way they do it in high school. So it's 1st and 2, but the 15-yard penalty is from the spot, like you said, Bob, and it was a little bit upfield, not where he went out of bounds. So that's okay. Yeah, it negates a big play, but Dunmore's still in a good position here.
Back to Lasher, left side. He bounces outside. He's got running room. Kyle Lasher down the sidelines. Beats Kennedy. Touchdown, Dunmore. And 41 more yards to Kyle Lasher's night. 4th touchdown, and Dunmore's in business.
And Dunmore has not been able to get outside all night in back-to-back plays. First Doherty on the end around, then Lasher just on a basic sweep to the left side. He's got good blocking. They seal the end. He breaks out of one tackle and into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the evening. And Kyle Lasher's putting on a show tonight.
I think the line is just wearing down York Catholic.
They've been out on the field the whole 2nd quarter and the whole 3rd quarter, like you mentioned. And a lot of these kids go both ways for York Catholic as well.
Rinaldi's kick, it is a good one. 26 unanswered for the Dunmore Bucks, and they've extended their lead now 34-19.
When you need environmental or chemical cleanup services, depend on the certified professionals at Datum Products Incorporated. Family and locally owned and operated since 1986, we are a full-service environmental remediation organization. Our services include 24-hour spill response, asbestos and lead abatement, tank removal, environmental demolition, mold remediation, site investigation, biohazard and crime scene cleanup. Datum Products Incorporated. If it matters to the environment, it matters to us.
27 unanswered points. I had to redo my math. Dunmore up now 34-19. Boy, turnovers have really hurt York Catholic. And then the Dunmore defense made a stop off a punt. First drive of the 2nd half. And this is Yokomic who is back. Flag comes in. Ball's on the turf again. They're going to call him down, though. So they put Yokomic back, get some athletic ability back there and some speed, but I believe York Catholic may be called for a holding on this one. And they are.
Going back to those 3 turnovers, too, Bob. Don't forget, Dunmore's defense forced 2 of those turnovers. I mean, they made defensive plays. So, yes, we're saying York Catholic is making too many mistakes. Yes, the 1 turnover was on a bad snap and then, a botched play by the quarterback. But the other 2 were strictly because Morocco did what he's supposed to do when chasing down the ball. That's punch the football out. Granted, turnovers are one thing. Getting points off them is another, and Dunmore's done it 3 times tonight.
Nick Shoemaker, number 65, has returned for Dunmore. He's on the defensive line. Good news for the Bucks. We really have not heard from Jakar Kennard since that fumble, too, in the 2nd quarter. Yokomic's going to go to the air. Gets it out to Kennedy. Doherty right there quickly, 3 yards, but a flag comes in late.
And Dunmore, once we see what the penalty markers are about, Dunmore will let them have that kind of play, Bob, because they just want to keep everything in front of them. No big plays. When you're up 2 scores, you don't want to give up the big play at this point in the game. So let's see what the official says.
It's personal foul, face mask against the Bucks. So they'll move the chains, and now we'll go down to Aaron, who has a little update on Nick Shoemaker. Aaron?
Yeah, Bob, I kind of expected the worst like you. I thought it was an ankle coming off. He was grimacing, definitely in a lot of pain, but when he came over, it was just a cramp. The trainer worked it out, got him hydrated, and he popped right back up for that touchdown. So I think he'll be all right, Bob.
Good news for the Bucks, at least on Shoemaker. Bad news is they get called for the penalty, and York is up to the 42. Oh, another low snap. Kennard nowhere to go. Have to turn around completely. And he finds the running room. Give him 8, gets out of bounds.
Well, that's where he's good. He makes something out of nothing, reversing the field there. And that's tough for the defense because they're all headed in one direction. You haven't stopped. And basically, he escapes and gets about 6 yards on the play. Good job on this. You see, again, they still had him kind of in the backfield there. Couldn't make the tackle, but that's a good job by Kennard making something out of nothing.
And Kennard last week had a huge game. Oh, Yokomic is just walloped in the middle. Everything going on. Flag comes in late. Lawler made a big hit. Dunmore has the ball. No call, though.
No, he was down, Bob, and then Yanisco, little push after the play, and I think that's what they're going to call. So that's 3 15-yard penalties on Dunmore in this quarter. And the Bucks are doing York Catholic a favor here, and they got to be a little more disciplined with these penalties. You don't want to be giving York Catholic anything at this point.
This drives Coach Hens nuts. These mistakes. Here you look at it again.
And watch after the play. He comes in, he makes a play. That's not what they called it on, because you see the blocker came on after him, and then right there. So, I mean, again, it's not much, but that far after the play, Bob, the referee's going to call it, especially if it's right in front of him. And it was almost a little retaliation. You know what they say? They always get the second guy.
Tack on 30 yards between the 2 penalties. And suddenly York is in business at the Dunmore 38, out to Kennedy on the left side. Flag comes in from the secondary. He's up to the 29. Let's see what this flag is.
I think this is going to be on York Catholic. They tried to run the bubble screen. Might be a player downfield. Might be an illegal offensive pass interference as well. See what the official says.
No flag. They're going to wave it off. Positive play for Brendan Kennedy, who's headed to St. Mary's to play baseball, so a very good athlete.
Well, I tell you what it was, Bob. I think they were going to call the offensive pass interference, but because the ball was behind the line of scrimmage, you can block. That's the bubble screen. That's how it's designed. That's why they let it go. It'd be different if the play was downfield. You can't go and block that way, but that's why they waved off the flag. I mean, the Dunmore fans don't like it. I didn't see much there that warranted a flag. Now they're going to measure.
The chains are coming over. Chris, what is that other game between Ligonor and Bishop McCourt? Is that tonight?
Yes, I believe it is. And
okay.
Let's see. I'll take a look real quick.
First down, York Catholic on that pass play. So they're up inside the 30 on the move again.
Ligonier Valley up 35-0 in the third quarter. And Bob, as you know, I cover the whole state for the Pennsylvania Football News. That is a very good football team, Ligonier Valley. The winner here is going to have their hands full next week. But Class 2A in the state, great classification this year. Some of them are down a little bit, some of them are up. That's going to be cyclical every year, but this year is no doubt 2A, one of the toughest classifications in the state of Pennsylvania.
Back here, they give it to Kennard. He finds a little bit of running room, picks up about 6, but Dunmore collapsed on that pretty quickly.
And here's the issue with those penalties, Bob. I mean, you're giving them 30 free yards on this drive, which means that's 30 yards that they didn't have to earn with the clock running. So if York Catholic can put it in, obviously they're right back in the game with pretty much a quarter to play. So those penalties were really crucial for York Catholic and really hurt Dunmore.
York, though, needs a couple scores. Nowhere to go for Yokomic. He has running room. He doesn't take it. Shoves it over to Anzalone. A little quick pass. And he's been close to a first down for York.
Yokomic, I'm not sure what he saw there, but if you watch Kennedy on this play, he's the farthest receiver right there at the top of your screen. He's kind of wide open there, and Yokomic never threw it. He did a good job to buy some more time and did find the receiver, and they might have a first down here. Good hit in the secondary that time by Dunmore's Corey Lawless, but let's get they're going to say he has it.
Yeah, Anzalone actually came back off of his route to come back to the quarterback, and that will do it for the third quarter. It's a third quarter, again, dominated by the Dunmore Bucks, and they lead this PIAA Class AA first round state playoff game 34-19.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Contafio's Collision Center is a proud sponsor of the Dunmore Bucks. Contafio's Collision and the Contafio family would like to wish the best to our Bucks.
Back in Hazleton, Harmon Geist Stadium. There you see the Burrell Construction press box. Bob Ide, Chris Kaharski, Aaron Dugan in the state playoff game. York Catholic is on the move. Dan Yokomic, their quarterback, up to the 11. Second down coming up. So York on the backs of two penalties from Dunmore started this drive at their own 24, trying to get back into this one.
Good job by Borgia that time to come up in the hole. Otherwise, that might have been a touchdown there for York Catholic.
They're inside the Toyota red zone. This they give to Kennard. Dunmore there, a couple yards, if that. They really not have let Kennard break anything big tonight.
No, I think they've done a good job of containing him. In fact, some of his better plays is he's had to kind of run around a little bit before he could find anywhere to go. And he hasn't been what's hurt Dunmore with the offensive side. The quarterback in the first quarter into the second quarter, I think they had more problems with him. And obviously, though, this is a big play here for both teams coming up first and goal.
Fake by Yokomic, touchdown York Catholic. That was easy.
Yeah, they just ran a little zone read and give him credit. Yokomic saw it perfectly. Nobody on that side of the field. He basically walked into the end zone. Dunmore did not do a good job of covering the quarterback that time. Yeah, they went to Kennard that time. They thought he was going to get the football, and easy 6 points, and York Catholic right back in this football game.
Well, they kind of have to go for two, or they're going to need two more scores.
Yes.
This is a big one, actually. To the end zone, and they get it to Sewell, and the two-point conversion is good, and just like that, Fighting Irish down just 7 points early here in the fourth quarter. So it was an 8-play, 76-yard drive. We look at the two-point conversion again. Aided by 2 Dunmore penalties. So now York, it's up to their defense to hold Dunmore.
And again, that's about clock, Bob. Not only the 30 yards, but that's 30 yards that the clock wasn't running. Yeah, let's just figure that's 4 or 5 plays. That's 2, maybe 3 minutes off the clock. When you have a lead, you want the clock to tick. And just, you got to be a little more disciplined in that situation if you're Dunmore. And those really help, those penalties really helped York Catholic get right back into this game.
Now, if you're Dunmore, do you have to watch for an onside kick here?
I don't think so. There's too much time left, 11 minutes. And again, I know the defense for York Catholic is tired, but at the same time, I think you got to play it straight up at this point. Hope your defense can get a stop and get the ball back. By the way, in one of the other games tonight, I was getting some texts from people at games that Williamsport, remember Williamsport was up 28-21 at one point, or 28-7 at one point. State College kicked back-to-back onside kicks and recovered both of them and went in and scored 2 touchdowns.
Speaking of onside kicks, yep. Okay, so Brazil keys it up. Nice kick down. And Doherty again brings it up to the 30-yard line.
Bob, we do have our first final in of the night. North Pocono is the District 2 4A champions, 21-6 over Berwick, and the Trojans are victorious. And a lot of people talking this week about that game way back in the Eastern Conference. You remember that was a little more exciting than it looks like tonight's game, but Trojans victorious again. Congratulations to Greg Dolan and his staff, the Trojans 4A champions.
So the Bucks need to hold on to the football. Get a little drive going. Lasher powers up for 11.
You know, Dunmore's offense, I think, is in control, Bob. But I think they need another touchdown. I think they can't just run clock at this point. They need to get another score because looks like York Catholic offensively has kind of gotten it back together. And we mentioned Dunmore had not really stopped them much early in this game when they were going on all cylinders. The turnover stopped them, but they never stopped them on downs until that one punt. So Dunmore, I think, needs to keep moving the ball on the ground, keep pounding it. They need to get down in the end zone again, one more time.
Well, Yokovic shoots in, but somehow Lasher puts his head down for a couple. So second down coming.
Well, again, you can see they pull a lineman. They have the wing out there blocking for him as well. They're trying to get him as much blocking right at the point of attack as possible. We've seen Dunmore shift around, wings, tight ends. Again, power football for the Bucks.
Both teams have a number of players that go both ways, so it is an attrition game, and Darcy skips it, incomplete to Cole.
Cole thought he caught it. Referees on both sides says he didn't.
My eyes say it bounced, but
Well,
we'll watch a replay.
We get a good look at it right here. Play action. That's worked for Dunmore tonight. Pretty good throw. A little bit low, and yeah, I think it might have caught the ground there. The referee on the far side had a perfect angle of it, better than we had with the TV replay, but now that forces Dunmore into a 3rd and long situation. That's the danger of throwing a pass on 2nd down, Bob. Not what Dunmore wants to be in situation-wise.
5-man rush. Darcy on the fake. Gets a block. No flag. Darcy with room. And he goes down at the 42-yard line. Dunmore moves to change.
Huge block by Doherty on that far side. He's the one who sprung it for Darcy. That was unexpected because he just doesn't run the football very much. You could see them converge on Lasher right there. I thought it was clean, Bobby. It looked like he got him on the shoulder pad. And a great run by Darcy. More important, he stays in bounds. He secures the football. Dunmore on a 3rd and 7 converts. Huge play for the Bucks.
Brendan Kennedy, the senior, with the tackle. So another set of downs for the Bucks, up by 7 late in this game. Try the fullback, and he's pulled down quickly by Knauer, the big junior, 6'4", 290. Time on the side of Dunmore if they can hold on.
And there's still plenty of time here, and the Bucks have to avoid making a mistake. I mean, a turnover puts York Catholic right back in it. You know, that's why I'm saying with the amount of time left in the clock, they need a touchdown here to kind of put this game away, because it's going to be tough for York Catholic to put 2 scores on the board in this 4th quarter.
Fake by Darcy. Incomplete to Cole again. Are they going to call it complete? They do.
Good job by Darcy.
They got that one away. That was low. No, wait, they're going back to the line of scrimmage.
Okay,
Yeah, it was incomplete.
Well, Hamilton was right on top of Darcy that time, so he did a good job of getting rid of the football. You don't want to take a sack in that instance. Again, if we would have completed, that would have been a bonus, but I still think that's a good play by the quarterback. And second straight set of downs here, 3rd and 7 for the Bucks. They went to the quarterback bootleg the last time. Let's see what they do here on this 3rd down.
George Cole comes off, shaking his left arm. They go to Lasher. He's still on his feet. Holds on to the ball inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Gain of 10, move the chains.
This has to be psychologically tough for York Catholic because they've got 3 guys on Lasher and they can't bring him down. And they're probably saying to themselves, what do we have to do to tackle this kid? He's that tough. Look at that. 1, 2. Let's add another one. Try to get the football away. Still moving forward. Unbelievable effort by Kyle Lasher.
Bucks on the move. Start their own 30. Let's try Petrosky up the middle. The ball comes out, but I think the Bucks were right there. Now the scrum happens.
It looked like Dunmore got on it, but then, of course, you never know what happens on the bottom of these piles.
And they do. Morocco comes up with it. Excuse me.
Boy, Morocco's making some plays in this game, isn't he, Bob? I mean,
yep.
the 2 strips, now this gigantic fumble recovery. You'll see Petrowski, he's running again in the middle, and they're stripping the ball, and that time it worked. Good job by number 65 for York Catholic. That's Jared Cole. They've been trying all night to strip the ball. Finally worked. Unfortunately for the Fighting Irish, Dunmore was there to get on the football. Big break for the Bucks.
Cole back into the game for Dunmore. Came out, got a drink. Lasher with some moves. Cuts it inside. Up to the 13. And again, Dunmore in business in the Toyota red zone. York Catholic wants a hold. They're not going to get it.
And listen, you know, the fullback, Petrowski's had a pretty good game running the football. But after that last fumble, I think you're going to see Lasher handle this ball all the way down into the end zone here. They are confident that Lasher will secure the football. He's done that pretty much all season.
10th play of the drive that started at their own 30-yard line to put this game away. Petrosky, he holds on to the ball, maybe a yard, if that.
I'll give them credit. They went back to him. I thought they would stick with Lasher at this point, but give the big guy credit, too. He covered up that football that time, making sure nobody was going to get that one away from him. So Bucks showing some confidence in their fullback. And, again, he's had a really good game running the football. That was that one mistake, you know, obviously didn't cost the Bucks. So, again, showing some confidence and going back to him.
Bucks going to take as much time as they can off of the play clock. Back to Lasher. Kennard on the tackle, but Lasher's inside the 10 to the 9.
So they've run over 5 minutes on this drive. And obviously, if they don't score a touchdown, it was still a successful drive. But at this point now, you're asking York Catholic to score 2 times. And it's just going to be really hard. So York Catholic, with a 3rd down here, has to make their last stand, I believe, on these next 2 downs, because otherwise it's going to be a tough climb for the Fighting Irish to win this football game.
Kyle left side spins, and he's close. Going to be down at the half-yard line, 1st and goal, Dunmore Bucks.
And a bonus too, Bob. By him not getting in the end zone, down to the 1, more clock is going to run off. And you have 4 downs now to score from the 1-yard line. I mean, you obviously want to score anytime you have an opportunity. How about Dunmore going without a huddle here?
Right to Darcy, and Darcy powers in. Touchdown Bucks. That is just what Dr. Henzis ordered. A 12-play, 70-yard drive.
Almost 6 minutes.
6 minutes off the clock, and that could seal the deal for the Bucks to move on in the PIAA state playoffs.
This drive goes back to the second and third quarter, though, Bob, and you kept bringing the numbers up. 7 plays in the second quarter. Third quarter, again, Dunmore's offense was on the field pretty much the whole quarter. York Catholic's just tired. Their defense is tired, and Dunmore is good at this. They're good at wearing down their opponents. We saw that on this drive.
Rinaldi in for the extra point. The flags are down. This one's going to stop right from the start. Offsides against York. Dunmore trailed 19-7 in the first quarter. Bucks didn't panic. They now have 40 on the board, trying to add one more.
Got another final in, Bob. Scranton Prep defeated Montoursville tonight. 37-13. They will advance to the next round of playoffs to play Middletown at a District 3.
This kick by Rinaldi is up, and it is good. So the Dunmore Bucks now lead York Catholic 41-27. And uphill climb now for the Fighting Irish in their first state playoff game ever.
Yeah, the turnovers are going to be the headline of this story, but time of possession is going to be even bigger, Bob. And it's tough enough to win with the turnovers, but to have your defense on the field that much against a team that wants to wear you down, that wants to win that battle of attrition we talked about earlier, you're seeing classic Dunmore football here. And again, 14 points, 5 minutes left. Well, tough task for the Fighting
A lot
Irish.
of W's on the Dunmore schedule. Maybe you add one more at the bottom. And we said their toughest game of the year was really their first. That's their closest game. I thought Lakeland would be a little bit closer last week, but again, Dunmore wore them down. So it was next man up. 3 key players out for the Bucks. Couple may return next week. That's the word anyway. So that'd be good news for Dunmore if they have to travel to meet Ligonor Valley. Now, if they do, it's most likely, last time they played a District 6 team, it was at Central Mountain.
Yeah, that's usually a site they like to select.
That will be next Friday. Here's Yakimic from his 11. Special teams, another good play. Up to the 34 for York.
One thing this does now too, Bob, strategy-wise, is it kind of makes York Catholic have to be one-dimensional, and Dunmore loves that. They love the fact now that they can sit back. They'll give you the short pass. They got to make the tackles. We talked about that at the beginning of the game. They have to make tackles. Don't let a 5-yard pass turn into a 65-yard touchdown, but everything in Dunmore's favor right now.
Big rush on Yakimic. They got to him and picked off. Intercepted and he drops it. Picked up by a Buck. Yanisco intercepted it. And I believe Lawler grabbed the fumble.
But it was the pressure, Bob, from the blitz coming from the far side that forced the errant pass. And that probably is going to seal the deal here tonight. 4 turnovers by the Fighting Irish.
Yanisco's first interception of the season, and it's a big one. Let's look at it again.
Watch the opposite side. He sees it coming, but he tries to get rid of it. It was 34.
Yeah, Harity.
So Harity, again, coming in with the blitz. That's what caused the interception. Yanisco, whoops, lost it there, but his teammate right there to pick it up. And at that point, you just want to go down and keep possession because Dunmore can't run out the clock, but they pretty much can seal the deal right here with a couple first downs.
Back to Patrisco. From the York 39, he picks up about 3. The clock now is on the side of the Dunmore Bucks. Under 5 to play.
We saw how York Catholic really controlled this game when Dunmore was turning the ball over. And then it just shifted. It really did with the turnovers going the other way. But give Dunmore's defense credit. They forced 3 of those 4 turnovers. And when you do that, and then you turn them into touchdowns, it's just really hard to overcome. And that's what the Fighting Irish ran into tonight.
Lasher still determined. Gets to the 30. He's well near the 200-yard mark now. Remember, this is a York Catholic team last week that ran for 538 yards. Ran for 538 against Newport.
York Catholic going to use one of their timeouts here, Bob, to save some clock.
This is a Don Tomaso timeout. 3rd down coming up. Got one more trivia question for you. And Dunmore Chiropractic is the sponsor. How many district titles for the Dunmore Bucks?
It's got to be a lot. I can't really.
Including last week's.
Yeah, I usually have a lot of useless knowledge, Bob, but you may have stumped me on this one.
Really?
Well,
I don't know about that. Did I? I stumped you? Okay. More than 8, less than 10.
I gotta say it's more than 8.
Less than 10.
Oh, you're giving me the answer.
I'm giving you the answer.
You're making it too easy.
I am. But 3 straight. Second time in the century that they've done that.
Well, Coach Henzis doesn't have all those wins for nothing.
Nope. 422nd all-time, the most by an active Coach Lasher. We're taken down by his neck. Boy, one thing you don't need now is anybody injured if you're Dunmore.
Well, Lasher did not get the first down. So does York Catholic use one more timeout here, or do they just try to get the stop on 4th down?
There it is. There's the question. I pretty much gave you the answer. We can give the answer, guys. 9.
And you look at those, and you see the first one's in 1995, because that's misleading, Bob, because back then, Eastern Conference is what you wanted to win, not the district.
Yep.
So it probably could have been more.
Yeah, when they went to the state finals, Lasher breaks and he still spins, still on his feet. Kyle Lasher to the 11. Flag comes in late. I think that we'll be going against York Catholic personal foul as someone lost their helmet for Dunmore. Frank Damiano lost his helmet, and I think that might have been taken off.
See what the call is. Could be some frustration now as, yeah. Kyle Lasher, and how could you not be frustrated if you're York Catholic? You can't tackle the kid. He doesn't want to go down. And again, frustration by York Catholic. They know that they let this game get away from tonight. Now they're showing that frustration of Kyle Lasher just bulldozing them all night long.
So the penalty takes them to the 6, 1st and goal. Dunmore Bucks again in the Toyota red zone. So it looks like it will be the Bucks and Linganore Valley next week, Chris.
One other quick final in the single A state playoffs. Williams Valley defeated Lackawanna Trail 22-12.
Vikings. Lasher for his 4th touchdown. He wrapped up, gets to the 1.
And again, more clock running. Dunmore knocking on the door. Again, Lasher he's not going down on first contact. Actually, he's not going down on second contact, maybe even third contact most of the night. And York Catholic has tried everything. 2, 3, 4 guys trying to bring him down. And as much as we give credit to him, give credit to his offensive line too, because there has been times where he's had a lot of room to run, but really Lasher his individual effort has been outstanding.
Lasher, I don't think they're going to give it to him to the half-foot line. William Landis, 340-pounder. He is going to hurt tomorrow. He is aching. He is one tired big man for York Catholic. And we talked to Coach DePue, and And you mentioned to him how hard-hitting Dunmore is, and that was what they're noted for. And he said to us, truthfully, I think we had some hard-hitting teams in the York Adams League. Maybe not. We know through the years, we've seen this between Old Forge and Dunmore. The reputation of the Bucks is last year takes his 4th touchdown, and there's some frustration again. That time by Knauer. But it wears on you. I mean, the Bucks, that's what they do. They're going to wear on you, right?
No doubt about it. And when we were talking to Coach Depew, the one thing that usually happens, Bob, and we didn't see it in this game, is Dunmore punches you in the mouth early and you can't handle it. Actually, your Catholic did a good job early.
Yep, they did.
But because of everything that's happened with the turnovers, the time of possession, they have not been able to handle it here in the 4th quarter. And again, you saw them give Lasher a little shove at the end there. You know what? Kyle can just walk away knowing what he did tonight and what his team did tonight. Doesn't matter. You can shove them all you want. They're going on to the next round.
Rinaldi, extra point. This one is up, and it is good. So after the interception, it's another touchdown. 4 turnovers, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's the headline tonight.
No doubt about it. That's what York Catholic is going to have to live with in the offseason. I mean, congratulations to them. Great season. First district championship since 1982. We're in control of this game at one point, 19-7. But in the end, the turnovers and the Dunmore running game, just too much for the Fighting Irish.
So the dominance continues for the Dunmore Bucks in District 2 and now into the States. It moves on to the second round next week, most likely on Black Friday and Friday night. Site to be determined. Ligonier Valley, the opponent.
I'm trying to get a final on that one, Bob. They were up 35-0. And again, I get a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls. I go to Dunmore a lot. People walking down the street say, "Hey, what are the Bucks' chances?" And I said, "Listen, Bucks are as good as anybody in the state, but it is a tough road. And Ligonier Valley is a tough team. I've watched them on film. Again, they have this kid, I think it's Parrish. I think that's his last name. I know him by his number. But he's good, and it's going to be a tough task. But the Bucks are definitely right there with everybody else in the state. That's why they're ranked number 3.
Yeah, Yokomic from his 14 down the sidelines, tripped up. Now players is flying all over the place. And York will have the ball at the 46. And, of course, everyone, you don't want to look ahead. Everyone knows Southern's waiting there. And a Southern team that has 2 outstanding freshmen and is going to be around for a long time.
Listen, you're always going to run into very good football teams in the state playoffs. I haven't seen a team win a state championship and just play bad teams.
Yep.
That's why those teams are here. They're good teams. So you have to beat the best to be the best. And Dunmore's seen that before.
Another low snap. Yokomic has nowhere to go.
Ligonier Valley won that game tonight 35-7. So Dunmore, Ligonier Valley next week in the state. I guess that would be the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
As we'll see again. Yeah, that low snap hasn't happened often, but when it has, it's hurt.
It's really second quarter was a disaster for York Catholic tonight.
That's when they let Dunmore take control of the game.
Absolutely. They were up 19-7. Really, Kennard has not shown much tonight. This is probably his longest run of the evening. And he goes inside Buck territory to the 44. Gain of about 17. But really haven't called his name at all tonight. A kid that ran for almost 280 yards last week against Newport. Bounces outside. Fangio chases him out. Doherty there as well.
And again, we had question marks about these two teams today. And I think one thing that was proven that they both are pretty good football teams. But it just shows Dunmore's at a different level. We kind of expected that. We've talked off the air about how good this Dunmore team can be. We just didn't have a lot of proof of how good they can be. But I think tonight you saw, especially the way Lasher has stepped up his game. I think there was some panic in Dunmore when Holmes went down. You know, because Holmes had been so reliable. I mean, his sophomore year, he was the leading rusher. He had struggled with injuries last year, and they still miss him. Don't get me wrong. He's a valuable player, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But because of the way Lasher has been playing, Bob, I think that they feel now that this offense is going to be really tough to stop. And Darcy has been a nice compliment in the passing game when they've needed him. It's just been an overall great team effort by Dunmore tonight, and they'll go on to the quarterfinals.
Boy, great job again by the sophomore Kyle Harity. Grabbed Kennard in the backfield, and the rest of the troops caught up.
You know, I know what Eric Depew is going through right now in that sidelines, and you're going to always ask this question, what could have been? The 4 turnovers really just, you know, you just can't do that. You can't do that against...
Not in the state playoffs,
no,
you can't.
even do it against in the regular season against average teams because they'll find a way to beat you. And when you're playing against state quality teams, championship teams, as you're a Catholic going to try to put one more in the end zone before the end of the evening, which will be meaningless at this point. But
well, congratulations to all of our area teams. Prep looks like they'll move on. North Pocono wins. Dunmore is going to win, and Williamsport, what's to get a final yet?
Looks like they're
up by 3 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, right? 35-21? Is that the last update we
had? 2
had?
touchdowns, excuse me.
Well, Williamsport, they've got to, listen, this is a big win for them tonight because State College is a quality team. They had 1 loss all season. It was a 3-point loss to Central Dauphin on the road. Central Dauphin is the 6th-ranked team in the state. This is an impressive win for Williamsport, and it's a good statement for District 2/4. I know Williamsport's a 4 team, but they're a Wyoming Valley Conference team. And we know the offense is good, Bob. We know that they can make plays offensively. Don't forget, State College scored 2 of those touchdowns after onside kicks. So if you look at it, it really wasn't even that close of a game. But they'll move on. And we mentioned North Pocono wins the district title. They have to play Imhotep Charter next week. That's not going to be easy.
Number 1 team in the state.
They're ranked in the top 3 depending on who you look at.
Who you look at. Boy, all day for Yokovic. He's going to go to the end zone, and it's going to be a York Catholic score. Ryan Sewell pulls it in. Nice pass. Great catch. And now we're going to see an onside kick. If anything now, you give York a little bit of a chance just because of the onside kick, but they're down a lot of scores. Here, look at it again. Not much pressure put on.
It's a beautiful catch. If you look at it, it goes up, and that's a nice catch by Sewell. And, you know, again, it's a meaningless touchdown at this point, but give the quarterback Yokovic credit. That's might be his last throw of his high school career. Great high school career for him as well. He'll throw a 2-point conversion too.
Anzalone is on the receiving end of that. It is complete, and now it's 48-35.
19.7 seconds, even if you recover the onside kick, Bob.
Yeah, it's
not enough time.
Tomorrow afternoon, Whitehall takes on Abington Heights.
Yeah, and I'll be at that game. I'm actually broadcasting that game on npfsports.com, so you can listen in. And that's officially a sub-regional, which it's the District 2 champion against the District 11 champion. That's the way I look at it. But the game's at Abington Heights, the only one left on the schedule for any District 2 teams. So should be a good one. Abington, I'll tell you what, give Joe Repsh's credit. They really struggled offensively through the first half of the season. But Colin McCreary has turned that team around offensively. Their defense was always good. It was one of the better defenses in District 2. They'll give Whitehall everything they can handle. Whitehall is from that league down in the Allentown area with all those powerhouses, Easton, Parkland. So they play a tough schedule, but don't forget, really tough to come to the pit and get away with a victory. That's definitely an advantage for Abington tomorrow. So 1 o'clock kickoff for the Comets tomorrow.
Southern Columbia wins the District 4 AA title, 49-21 over South Williamsport. They were up 35-0. So add another win for Jim Roth, add another win for Jack Hedzis. Will they meet in the Eastern Final? One more week to find out. Dunmore has this 8 in the box. Onside kick by Basil, and Cole with a nice job covering that one up quickly. And that will do it. One play, and this will be over.
Well, I'll tell you what. Dunmore earned this one tonight.
Absolutely.
Defensively, they forced turnovers. Offensively, they controlled the clock. The offensive line took control of this game in the second half. Obviously, Kyle Lasher is going to be the main kid on the headlines, and he deserves it because, again, if you didn't see the game and you see his yardage total, you might say, oh, he had a great night, must have had great blocking up front, but don't forget how many of those yards came after first contact. That's a sign of a great running back, and that's what we saw from Lasher tonight.
Okay, well, they're going to kick it again.
And did you see a signal or anything?
I didn't see any signal. But they're backing
Well,
up York 5.
Must have been before.
Well, offsides, it must have been.
Before they must have blown a whistle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would just, Dunmore would decline it. So
the clock is reset to 19 seconds. So Basil will tee it up again. Big hop. Will it go the distance? And no, it doesn't. It's actually touched by your Catholic player, 9 yards, and it will be Dunmore ball.
That was actually a great kick. It got the hop at the end, just didn't go, was a yard short. Nothing you can do if you're real Catholic there. You try to jump on, hope the referee said it went 10 yards, but.
Yeah. Corey Lawless, though, stood his ground.
Yeah.
He kind of crossing his fingers, it would only go 9. You watch 6. Doesn't come up on it.
Well, stay behind the line, that's right. And look at that bounce it takes right at the last second.
Oh,
that was close.
that's close.
But you know what? When he touched it, it was inside the yard marker. He kind of pulled it back in, and give him credit. That kid right there, he tried to sell it. Referees weren't buying, and that'll be the end right there. Bucks will get in the victory formation.
So 13-0 for the Dunmore Bucks in 2016, and that will do it. This first round playoff game in Class 2A goes to the Dunmore Bucks. The final score, 48-35. And again, the Bucks will play Linganore Valley next week in the quarterfinals. When we return, Aaron Dugan will talk to our players of the game here in Hazleton.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.
Back to Hazleton. Dunmore wins this game, and Aaron Dugan has the players of the game on the field.
Well, Bob, for 2 weeks in a row now, Kyle Lasher, one of our players of the game. Kyle, they just could not take you down tonight. How good does this win feel?
Yeah, this is really, we had to keep going. It was like a war. I had 49 carries. I felt like I was going to die, but I had to suck it up and do it for my team, do it for everybody on my team.
Beast. Your line tonight doing such great work for you. I know we talked about that a little bit last week, but man, you got to shout those guys out tonight. They really paved the way for you.
Well, we all did together. We're a team, so everyone did a great job and got this win tonight.
You responded so well tonight defensively to York. Their offense was something you guys really didn't see that much this year. How did you stop them defensively?
I was looking for their quarterback because that was my responsibility, and that's what I did in defense. I think we stopped them really well, but the whole defensive group did very well.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Great job. Great job. Let's move on to our next player of the game, Mike Morocco. Tell me about your line. You guys, you're all a big family. I can see that here tonight. How great does this feel?
Oh, it's a great feeling. You know, we're all like brothers here. We're a big family. Yes. It's great to win besides these guys because they're great people.
You guys had to deal with a lot of injuries in the last few weeks. It seems like guys are just filling in roles everywhere. You're dealing with that adversity well. Just talk to me about that.
Yes, it's the next man up thing. You got to know what you got to do. Everybody's got to be prepared. That's why we practice every day with everybody on the team.
Yeah. Defensively, you caused 2 fumbles tonight. Turnovers so big. Tell me about capitalizing on those turnovers.
It was just I saw the opportunity. We had to take it, and the team did well, very all together. And when the offense came on, we knew we had to take advantage of it because it was a big turning point of the game.
All right, big win. Congrats, guys.
Thank you very much.
See you, Bob. See you, Bob. I don't think I can walk through Dunmore now. No, I think Aaron and I could. So congratulations to the Bucks. Again, down 19-7 in the first quarter. Their first taste of adversity in a long time, if not at all, during the season. And they responded well. They caused the fumbles. They took advantage of what they had in front of them.
They did, and that's what good teams do. They take advantage of opportunity. Listen, they had their own problems early in this game. They had 2 quick turnovers, and you know, York Catholic was able to turn those into points. But the game kind of shifted a 180 right there, and it went the opposite direction. But, you know, this Dunmore team all season, we've seen them pretty much dominate most of their opponents. Even on the scoreboard tonight, it was only a 13-point game. I thought physically that they still dominated this game. I thought York Catholic hung in early. We'll give credit to the Fighting Irish. But in the end, Kyle Lasher's performance tonight, we had him, Bob, 47 carries.
Wow.
For 263 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's unofficial, but 47 carries. And it looks like he could have carried the ball another 47 times. He looked fresh at the end there. I give all the credit in the world to him because that's tough. That's tough to do. And obviously, again, it goes back to Bob. He only had 118 carries coming into the game. Fresh.
Yep. And maybe they get Colin Holmes back for their meeting with Linganore Valley next week. Well, if there is a state playoff game in 2 weeks, we will be there, and we'll see who it's going to be. Could it be Dunmore? Will it be Southern Columbia? Will it be Scranton Prep? We don't know. The final score again, Dunmore 48, York Catholic 35. A big thanks to our crew from Fox 56 Sports. A big thanks to Aaron Dugan and Chris Kaharski. This is Bob Hyde saying so long from Hazleton.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wendy's.